starts now.
This is a terrible day for Pickens County. We've lost some of our citizens.
Thank you for joining us. We now know the names of the 3 Pickens County tornado victims. Coroner Chad Harless says 51-year-old Tyrone Spain, 85-year-old Albert Barnett, and 75-year-old Susan Barnett died today after a strong and powerful tornado ripped through a Pickens County community. The sheriff there calling it a tragic day. Our Scott Martin, along with meteorologist Trevor Burchett, spent the first few hours after the twister on the ground there in Settlement. They give us a look at the devastation.
We're standing right here on Highway 86, and just about a mile up the road here, that's where the brunt of the tornado damage is. Sheriff Todd Hall took the media on a brief tour to get a look at some of that damage, and what you're about to see is it's just absolutely devastating. Chaos. That's how Larry Jones describes the moments after the twister.
Houses missing, people missing.
Jones immediately began to check on his neighbors. Tragically, not all of them survived the storm.
Some were devastated and some was not alive.
Pickens County Sheriff Todd Hall says the homes where the 3 people lost their lives were unrecognizable.
I was out there and I saw the structure. I can't tell you. I don't know what kind of structure it started out as. You know, there was one foundation that was completely devastated, and then the other one also, you couldn't tell what it started out as.
What were once homes in the small community of Settlement are now rubble. The damage and lives lost, Sheriff Hall says, will leave a hole in the heart of Pickens County.
Anytime you have a loss of life, it's a very devastating thing for all people, you know, across our whole community. And like I said, this community here was very vital to Pickens County, and it's going to be a huge loss.
Dozens of volunteers spent Saturday trying to find what could be saved, but the help will be needed in the days to come.
Today, everybody's going to be out reaching out and doing everything they can, but tomorrow is going to be a different day. And these people are going to need long-term care and long-term resources. So we're reaching out to some of the resources at this time. Jones
is thankful his family is safe. However, it's a day that now leaves a lasting mark.
Scared. Scared.
And now the sheriff says that no one will be allowed in for the rest of the day. We also know that there are no shelters being open. That's because everybody that was affected, they do have some place to go. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story in the coming days. Again, 3 people tragically passed away in this storm. Reporting in Pickens County, Alabama, Scott Martin, WCBI News.
Well, Harless says 2 of the 3 victims, Albert and Susan Barnett, were husband and wife.
The storms that caused devastation in our region are continuing to wreak havoc on the East Coast. There are watches and warnings in the Carolinas and in Virginia. And what a mess the storms left behind in the region. In the last 24 hours, over 800 reports of damage in the area from Texas and Arkansas all the way to the eastern seaboard, including the tornado in Pickens County. There were a lot of other reports of damage in our area, some trees down across parts of the Golden Triangle, and a rather significant streak of damage towards Baldwin, off towards Tishomingo County. Of course, we were monitoring that all day. Other things that happened was a lot of flooding rains over the last 24 hours. 2 to 4 inches fell. Lots of you reported flash flooding through the WCBI mobile app in your area. Here was the most significant damage. That tornado right there, Cash, is what happened. And as we saw that debris signature, we knew things got bad. Unfortunately, the situation just really heartbreaking day.
Now, Jacob, we knew that this day and this system could be or could bring strong storms and damage. So can you walk me through kind of as the storm crossed the state line, what changed? I mean, what happened between the 2 areas when it crossed over into Alabama?
The big question was the timing of the storms. If the storms were a little slower, that would allow some of the instability we talked about of the days ahead to come up into areas like the Golden Triangle, the Highway 45 corridor. These storms actually went a little faster than we expected, which kept that severe threat mainly into central Alabama, although we still had quite a bit of devastation in our area.
Yes, we did. All right. Well, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. Well, in Starkville, the heavy rainfall brought flooding to streets and neighborhoods. WCBI's Tyler Hull talked to one family who had water in their home.
After Saturday morning's heavy rain, this is what it looked like in Luke Buckner's house. He and many of his neighbors on South Washington Street are cleaning up after water rushed in.
We saw the weather, of course, so we knew it was kind of coming, and
basically without a lot of rainfall, we've known that that ditch will back up, and so we kind of expected it. But it was raining really hard. I was outside watching, and it wasn't too bad.
But then things changed for the worse.
Then the rain kind of stopped. It was kind of like it is now, and I was like, okay, we're okay. But next thing I know, I just see water coming flying down the ditch, and it just kept getting worse and worse and higher and higher and higher. Even though it wasn't even raining very hard, it just kept coming.
Before long, the rising water was creeping into the house and saturating their backyard.
It was above my boots. Probably can't see that either, so maybe 1 to 2 feet, 1.5 feet, something like that.
Buckner says his family and neighbors will spend the coming days trying to dry out and clean up their homes. Tyler Hall, WCBI News.
Between 2.5 to 3 inches of rain fell in the Starkville and Oktibbeha County area in a short time frame. Oktibbeha County Emergency Manager Kristen Campanella says the county's road department is out of barricades. That's because the county has a lot of roadways underwater, especially unpaved areas. In fact, there's so much flash flooding statewide that there are no barricades to borrow. Campanella cautions residents to be careful driving, especially during the overnight hours where water could be covering roadways and may not be visible. Well, trees were reported down across mainly eastern Lowndes County. One of those trees fell on an apartment at Fountain Square. This happened on Yorkville Road East. Lowndes County Emergency Management Agency Director Cindy Lawrence said she received reports of at least 8 trees down. There were several flooded roads in the New Hope area and also along Highway 45. As you can see in the video, power lines also down on Old New Hope Road. No injuries were reported in Lowndes County. Well, severe weather poured through Baldwin today, leaving homes and businesses damaged. Our DeAndrea Turner was there today and has more on the story.
It happened so quick, it sounded like a bomb went off, and it's gone.
Paul Vick still can't believe it.
Carport's gone, hole in the roof, tree damage.
These were just a few things damaged. Around the corner from Vick's, Buffy Bell woke up when the storm hit.
It was like the couch was shaking, like somebody was pushing the couch. I'm just like sliding, like a couple feet away. It was just sliding. The beds were moving. Everything was moving. I felt like the floor had just come out from under our feet.
This is what she found when she walked outside.
And stuff was just everywhere. When we come outside, found these trees, and my car was smashed.
This hole that is full of water used to be where this uprooted tree was standing. It is just one of the trees that shook the residents of this house this morning. But Belle says that she is just happy to be alive.
Just thank the Lord that we're alive. That's all.
Battered, but not beaten.
Well, luckily, they are still able to stay in their house, and it'll take a few days to assess the damage. Overnight, a severe line of storms moved through Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Thousands there remain without power. Lines are down, debris is in the road, and workers continue to try and clean up damaged areas in Houston, Texas, and Lafayette, Louisiana. Emergency crews responded to a swift water rescue near North Fort Smith. Now, Fort Smith police say crews rescued multiple juveniles from floodwaters. Eric Mitchell with FSPD said all of the kids are safe. And right here, the driver of a panel truck and his passenger walked away from this accident. It happened about 2 o'clock on Highway 82 near Pickens County 75 at the state line. The driver and the passenger were able to get out of the vehicle. No serious injuries have been reported. That accident under investigation. Well, Iran says it shot down a Ukrainian Airlines passenger jet over Tehran by mistake. More on this after the break. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Iran says it shot down a Ukrainian Airlines passenger jet over Tehran by mistake, citing human error. That's a turnaround from Tehran's denial of responsibility for several days now. CBS News correspondent Kenneth Craig has more from New York.
Shooting down a civilian aircraft is horrific. Iran must take full responsibility.
Iran now says its military accidentally shot down a passenger plane, killing all 176 people on board. On Saturday, Iran blamed human error after denying any responsibility for days. 57 Canadians died in the Ukrainian Airlines disaster, which happened minutes after takeoff from Tehran. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is demanding answers.
We need full clarity on how such a horrific tragedy could have occurred.
In Tehran, protesters expressed anger about the downed plane, which crashed within hours of Iranian missile attacks on Iraqi air bases housing U.S. troops. That was in response to the U.S. drone strike that killed top Iranian general Qasem Soleimani. In an interview, President Trump said imminent threats prompted the strike.
We will tell you that probably it was going to be the embassy in Baghdad. I can reveal that I believe it would have been 4 embassies.
That detail contrasted with earlier comments from the Secretary of State.
We don't know precisely when, and we don't know precisely where, but it was real.
You were mistaken when you said you didn't know precisely when and you didn't know precisely where.
Completely true. Those are completely consistent thoughts. I don't know exactly which minute. We don't know exactly which day it would have been executed, but it was very clear.
Last week, the House approved a resolution aimed at limiting President Trump's ability to take further military action against Iran. A similar measure has been introduced in the Senate. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
An Iranian general said that an officer made the, quote, bad decision to open fire on the plane after mistaking it for a cruise missile.
Much quieter and much cooler tonight. Temperatures dropping down into the 30s for much of the region. We are done with the rain, but more rain is in the forecast, including the chance for some showers and thunderstorms specifically. I'll tell you more about that coming up right here after the break.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey.
We are much quieter and cooler as our front has pushed on through, bringing those showers to an end. Still some lingering clouds in the area. As we look at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon, Alabama, it is 51 right now. Light winds continue out of the west, generally under 8 miles an hour. There's the line of storms still spawning severe thunderstorm warnings and the occasional tornado warning way off here in the Carolinas. Very soon it will move off the eastern seaboard, and hopefully it does that sooner than later, because what devastation we have seen across the south. The latest we know is at least 10 fatalities from damaging winds. 6 of those were from tornadoes in Texas, Louisiana, and in Alabama. Tonight, things are much quieter. We're in the 50s and 40s already. 50 in Starkville, 52 in West Point, 47 in Tupelo. Oxford is down to 43. Winds will continue out of the west here, generally under 10 miles an hour. The later we go into the night, the calmer they become. By morning, they should be less than 5 miles an hour, generally out of the west, perhaps northwest. Still, we will drop down into the upper 30s and low 40s in the region. A little cooler to the north and west. Oxford at 33. I've got us at 39 in Columbus and 40 in Vernon, Alabama. Tomorrow will bring us a mix of sun and clouds. We are dry, though. No rain for us. Temperatures climbing into the 50s. Some of us will sneak into the low 60s with variable winds from 0 to 5 miles an hour. Really not a bad day here. I think we'll get some sunshine. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. 60 in Columbus will be the high, 57 in Starkville, 56 in Bruce. Winona, good evening to you. You'll get up to 57. Look for variable winds between 3 and 8 miles an hour. Futurecast has been really positive here. Notice a lot of sunshine as we head into our Sunday. According to that, I'll advertise it as partly cloudy, though, a mix of sun and clouds. As we get Sunday night into Monday, I really think the clouds will increase. We still will probably get some sunshine in, but by Monday evening, showers and a few thunderstorms will lift back into the area. I'm not concerned about these having a severe threat, but we'll watch moving forth to keep our eyes on that. Of course, you'll get those updates 24/7 on your mobile app. Now, the potential is there for several rounds of showers and storms in the region, so that could add another 1 to 2 inches. The reason for that, our cold front never really exits here. It actually stalls out to the south and east and then lifts back to the north and stalls out overhead. What that allows is for passing disturbances to bring chances for showers really through much of the week until we can get another strong cold front at the end of the week to come on through. So what that means for us is showers and a few storms here as we head through the middle of the week. I still have the chance for some scattered showers into the weekend, maybe a little bit cooler. We'll be keeping our eyes on that. In the meantime, though, I don't have any confidence that there's any more significant severe weather coming. That threat, though, will be monitored, and we'll enjoy the sunshine tomorrow and worry about it Monday.
Well, I know, Jacob, the last thing that a lot of people want to see is more rain on the radar.
Yeah, we've had a lot of it around here. Actually, for the month of January, already, it's January 10th, we've had more rain than we see in average on the month of January, so not good.
That's insane. And earlier you said 2019 already a wet year.
2019 was one for the books. This year is not starting off on a good note either.
That's crazy. All right, thank you, Jacob. Well, Mississippi State still searching for SEC win #1 at LSU. Highlights when we come back with Courtney.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Ole Miss riding a 2-game SEC losing streak, and according to head coach Kermit Davis, with plenty to improve on. The Rebels still looking for the team's first conference win of the season, this one against Arkansas. The Rebs will have to take care of the ball, the Hogs forcing almost 18 turnovers a game. After trailing by as much as 7 points, the Rebs take the lead here. Forward Blake Hinson on the fadeaway jumper makes it 24-23, then play of the day worthy guard Brian Tyree on the two-hand slam. He had 12 points in the first half, and Ole Miss leads 33-27 at the break. Second half, Tyree attempts the jumper, misses. Forward KJ Buffin there for the rebound, the putback in the and one bucket. The Rebels up 42-33, and with seconds left on the clock, Ole Miss down 4. Tyree driving in the lane for 2. Gets it to go, but Ole Miss falls 76-72. 16 turnovers for the Rebels, resulting in 21 points for Arkansas. Ole Miss also falls to 0-3 in SEC play. The Rebs head to Florida on Tuesday. Mississippi State on the road, still looking for SEC win #1 as well against LSU. Early in the first, guard DJ Stewart knocks down the corner 3. MSU leading 6-2. Midway through the first, Tigers leading. Forward Abdullah Dew putting some work inside, gets the two-hand finish. It's 12-8 LSU. Next possession, Tigers respond. Guard Marlon Taylor from deep, nothing but nylon. 15-8 LSU in the lead, and 8 to go in the half. Guard Charles Manning pulls up with the step back J. LSU with a 9-point lead, 21-12. And before halftime, guard Nick Weatherspoon off the glass. Tigers leading 30-22 at halftime. And the second half is where Mississippi State would hit its stride. Second half, the alley-oop to Weatherspoon. MSU retakes the lead 36-35. And midway through the second, guard Iverson Molinar from deep knocking it down. 8 seconds remaining, a 1-point game, parry to the rim. MSU taking the 59-58 lead, 4 seconds to go. But before the buzzer, guard Skylar Mays for 3. Bottoms. After being down by as much as 9, the Tigers claw back to get the 60-59 win. Mississippi State falls to 0-3 in SEC play. Alabama in a big one this afternoon on the road, playing 14th ranked Kentucky. Midway through the first, 1-possession game. Forward Nick Richards with the two-hand slam. The Wildcats leading 26-21. A few possessions later, Bama loses it. Guard Ashton in to collect it out to guard Emmanuel quickly. Pulls up, knocks it down. It's 37-28 Kentucky. A minute in the half, guard Tyrese Maxey from deep. He gets the money shot. The Wildcats with a 12-point lead. Second half, forward Herbert Jones fighting his way for 2. Makes it a 59-54 game. Kentucky in the lead, and under 4 to go. Jones driving to the rim and making the tough shot. Watch this. In the bucket, it's 66-62 Kentucky. And next possession, Bama guard John Petty Jr. from downtown. Nothing but net. 69-65 Wildcats. And Kentucky stealing it with just a minute to go. The Wildcats hold on to beat the Crimson Tide 74-67. Bama falls to 8-7 on the season, 1-2 in SEC play. A berth to the AFC Championship on the line. The Titans taking on the Ravens. In case you missed it right before you tuned into us, Those highlights when we come back. Come back, the Titans taking on the Ravens and quarterback Lamar Jackson. The winner advances to the AFC Championship. Late first quarter, Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill back to pass, throws to tight end Jonnu Smith for the crazy one-hand grab. Touchdown, the 12 yards into the end zone. Titans up 7-0. Early in the second quarter, Tannehill, this time, finding wide receiver Khalif Raymond to his left, 45 yards. Tennessee going up 14-0. And then third quarter, 7 minutes remaining. Titans in the red zone. The trick play by the Titans, running back Derrick Henry takes the direct snap. The jump pass to wide receiver Corey Davis for the 3-yard touchdown. Titans pouring it on. They're up 21-6 after the touchdown. The Titans knocking off the #1 seed, the Baltimore Ravens, in the AFC divisional matchup. 28-12 the final, officially bound to the division championship. That's it for sports. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Look for a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday, some more scattered showers and thunder showers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll keep the chance for rain all the way into the weekend.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.